scientific publishing and academic tools and professional ethics is a topic to be discussed today. Research is a lifeblood of a modern arena. Without research and development, there cannot be any development in the country. That's why the country like India is emphasizing more on research and developmental activities. Research in any discipline thought to be an ongoing process of enhancing the existing knowledge by exploring the new frontiers of challenges that the human quest for understanding the reality. So that's what the research is all about. Today, the question of the quality of research has become the center of academic, professional and higher education policy debates all over the country, which involves the academicians, the research community and the authorities who are talking about how to make an effective scientific publication, how to make our scientific community visible to the world with their research bent of mind. So today we will see what is the scientific research temper is all about. See, the building the scientific research temper by just making a presentation is not enough. Unless and until an individual scientist or an individual faculty has to develop his scientific research temper within himself or herself, then only the things will work out, the research productivity will improve. So mere making an emphasis to conduct a research, to do the research is of no use unless and until he or she feels the necessity and conduct in a very systematic manner. So we will see the different steps of research design. If at all a researcher wish to publish an article or submit a research proposal to the University Grants Commission or ICSSR, so what sort of components of research elements are available for a researcher, and more specifically we will focus on how to publish a research article, because this is a major necessity for academicians or research scholars who are working in the colleges or the universities. And for that, how significant is a literature review, that has to be explained in depth and understood by all of us pertaining to the literature review. And we have to understand how the academic score is being calculated or computed for all our publication, whether it is a scientific journal, whether it is a conference paper, whether it is an invited talk. So for that, how much marks I am going to get for my academic performance indicator. So for that, where to publish, why to publish, how to publish. So for that, UGC CARE is an approved list of journals which is hosted on a University Grants Commission portal. So what are all the journals wherein I can publish, for which I will get a better score for my promotion or for my new recruitment. So to conclude, what are all the research skills that is desirable from the perspective of an academician that we will touch upon. See, research. So researcher, research in the field of science, engineering, technology, social sciences, commerce, law and management is a very important domain of a higher education system. And today we need to understand what is a research and why do we undertake this sort of a research and how we should go for the research. Of course, each and every one is known well about what is the research and what is the content, what is the research and everything. But See, when we look into the present existing research trend that is happening, so there is always been a buzzword from the higher authorities that there is a deficiency in the quality of a research. Okay, so of course there are, barring to few exceptions, the overall quality of a university and a college level research in India is indicated to be far from satisfactory. Okay, in a large amount of cases, it is also said that the quality of a research do not meet the standard, do not meet the international standard. Of course, there are certain exceptions. And they do not make a significant contribution to the theoretical or applied aspects of a particular discipline as far as a research. This is only a general, the consensus we can say, or this is it's a saying from in the general perspective, but it does not mean that the research in India is not up to date. See, quality of a research, definitely there are good exceptions. So we have been doing a wonderful research work and coming out with different theories, laws and principles, and also it leads to practical application also. But when we see the majority, definitely, so we all have to accept that seeing the present colleges, seeing the present university system, the way the research is being carried out, there is a one dot which normally pinches us is, are we conducting the quality of a research in a manner which is desirable to the society? Are we conducting the research in a manner which is appreciable and which will lead to better accreditation from the NAC? See, these things, if we look into the in-depth, definitely the quality of a research is something to be discussed at length. The quality of a research means maybe you are going to publish an article in the journal. Maybe you are going to make a presentation in the conference paper. Maybe you are publishing a patent document. Okay, maybe a invited talk, or maybe a research projects that you are submitting to different national and international bodies. So all these requires what actually, that is a research. Okay. See, today, very recently, you all must be aware that in the September 2020, so there was a national guidance document which has appeared, known as Good Academic Research Practices from the University Grants Commission. See, when we see what are the necessity of these sort of research practices, the mean there is a guideline from a University Grants Commission. There is a concern by the UGC that somewhere or somehow the quality of a research is not up to the mark, and for that there is a need of a policy. There is a need for a documentation, for which we are seeing this document which appeared in September 2020. And for your kind information, there was also another document, another policy document which has published in somewhere during July 2019, concerned to promoting and improving the quality of research in Indian universities and colleges. Means the UGC is more concerned about the quality of academic research. So also the colleges and universities in Karnataka or in India are also more concerned with academic research practices. Okay. So kindly go through this academic research practices document from the University Grants Commission, which is available free, which is downloadable, and you will come to know what are all the parameters, what are the serious concern, and what are the guidelines, how we can make our research better, so that our college or our university will be visible with respect to its productivity. Kindly go through this particular document. Of course, what is a research? So research is definitely it's a quest for a new knowledge. Okay, so the systematic method consisting of enunciating the problem, formulating the hypothesis, collecting the facts or a data, analyzing the facts and reaching to a certain conclusion, which may be either generalization, theoretical aspect, or it may be which will lead for a practical applications. Ultimately, a research as an academician in the colleges or a university, we are more bothered about a research because I am doing a PhD, because I am doing a MPhil, because I am the faculty. I do to get a promotion. I wanted to publish. I wanted to do research so that I publish some articles in the scientific journal, maybe in the conference paper. So that sort of a research. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to make a publish. We are trying to have publish our research work. See, today the mantra, the research mantra is that either you publish or perish. If at all you wanted to be a serious researcher, if at all you wanted to be a serious teaching faculty, then your mantra should be to publish your research. For that, continuous research is the need of the hour. Unfortunately, what is happening from the perspective of the teaching faculty, see, once we got a job, we are enjoying the benefits, there is a slowly, there is a decline in our research activity, there is a decline in publication. Of course, it may not be true, but gradually, in a general perspective, there is a decline. The passion that we have to publish an article, when you are just when you make an entry as a teacher, assistant professor in the colleges or university, in the beginning, that passion will be more for publishing. Slowly, it's getting a decline. Okay, that's what the law of diminishing marginal utility comes into force. See, the activeness, okay, that will be more in the beginning and it slowly comes down. That should not happen in the universities or colleges. Okay, right. So why do we conduct a research? Because we have a motivation. As a researcher, he wants to have his PhD thesis or a MPhil. That is the motivation. As a teaching faculty, because I wanted to be more visible to the society. I wanted to improve my scientific indicator. I wanted to help my college or a university to get better accreditation based upon my impact factor. Okay, so for promotion, for a new recruitment, whatsoever. So that's the reason as to why normally we conduct research. So research means what? See, research process, right from identification of the research problem only up to the report of findings. So that's the research process. Identification of the research problem, selecting the research problem, and you make your objectives of the study, find the design, you have a research methodology, then based upon your research methodology, you collect the data and analyze the data and interpret the data and come out with the inferences, and so finally you submit a report. That's a research process. And the research design is very much essential. Whether you are going to publish an article or whether you are submitting a major research project, whatsoever. See, there is a need for a systematic planning of a research. Okay, even for when you are submitting a PhD thesis or when you are selecting any new topic, see, for each and every activity of academic and research endeavor, we need to have a sort of a blueprint. Systematic planning is required. Think before you leap is a proverb. See, whenever I want to do something, you have to think systematically. Okay, you need to have a systematic planning for that. Then that's nothing but a blueprint. Then maybe what sort of a topic I should select. So to select the topic, where I should approach, whether any duplication of a research has been done. See, all those, the parameters that we need to do. Nothing, research design is nothing but an outline as to how the research has to be carried out by me. And for that, I need to understand what are the current hot topic of research, current key issues that are involved in the research. Okay, that's all fine. And as a university or a college librarian, see, our focus will be on the information content. Okay, for that, see, whether it is for a student or a researcher or a teaching faculty, can we do research without accessing information resources available in the library? See, the library means it's not only the place wherein just mere print collections are available. Today, there has been a dramatic changes in the information industry. There has been a tremendous changes in the library aspect, and we do have all the print collections and electronic collection. Okay, so these electronic collection are nothing but electronic resources which are either subscribed or we are getting through our national consortia from Inflibnet. Maybe we call it as an enlist consortia, or maybe we call it as an show the Sindhu consortia, wherein plenty of electronic resources are available only with a motto to help the academic and research community to get the information, to get the current research information. See, the beauty of today's internet world or the library world is that we have plenty of electronic resources available on the internet, and as a college or as a university, I have the privilege of accessing the very costly publisher electronic journals and electronic books. That too, most of them are free, because I come under the purview of approved 12B grade colleges or academic university. See, University Grants Commission through Inflibnet Center is, they are worrying a lot. In the sense, they wanted to provide the quality research information to all the university and colleges. For that, they are spending crores together of amount, so that our academic community, our research scholar should not suffer for want of a quality journals, for want of a quality ebooks. For that, under the national consortia like Enlist or E-Show the Sindhu consortia, the major publishers like American Chemical Society, American Institute of Physics, then Springer Link, Taylor and Francis, Gestor for social sciences. So plenty of publishers, more than 10,000 electronic journals are available free of cost to the university, and so also to the colleges. We are getting a lakhs together of electronic books, e-books from the publishers like a Tata McGraw-Hill or Springer Link or Taylor and Francis. See, there is no dearth of information. The dearth is our interest, our passion to access. Okay, so we have plenty of electronic resources which will definitely a great boon to the research community to access information. Not only that, see, when you go to the internet also, there are plenty of free electronic books, free electronic journals are also available in addition to your subscribed content or national consortium resources. Okay. So now, as we have seen, as I'm working in the university with a close contact with all my librarians and all my teaching faculty and research community, especially the research scholar who are pursuing their PhD, see, their concern is, as an obligation, as a mandatory, the research scholar has to publish a minimum of 2 articles. That too in journals which are approved in the UGC care. See, but whether it is somehow, sometimes we publish in UGC care and sometimes we don't publish in UGC care. So it's not compulsory that it should publish in UGC care. It doesn't mean that whatever you publish, it should be in UGC care. There are other databases which you also have a look at. That I will tell you later. Okay, so this is our concern as a research scholar. Okay. Or even the teaching faculty also, at least they need to have a minimum of 3 to 4 scientific articles. They want to publish because they also have to get promotions. Every year there will be performance evaluation. So for the teaching faculty also, they require to publish articles in the scientific journal, and also they have to make a presentation in the national conference. For that, what we need to do? Okay. So this is all, right, even for this scholar which I told you. And for that, the one important thing, the researcher of a younger generation or a teaching faculty, see, we should understand the significance of a literature review. See, we all the people, talk about, oh, go and do the literature review. अरे यार करना है हमको literature review, but how to do it, how significantly it's important, what are the steps involved in it. You see, today we wanted a shortcut, जल्दी होना चाहिए, ऐसा बटन चालू करे तो लाइट आना चाहिए, ऐसा होता नहीं है ये रिसर्च में. See, why? Because we have come across so many, like you are all the eminent teaching faculty and the research scholars, you know better than me. See, what happens whenever a student, whenever a research scholar is being asked to find a research topic, okay, he is going for a, say he has been selected for a PhD. So, he has to select that research topic. So, as a guide, what you say, go to the library or go to the internet and consult the other people. What should be the research title for my PhD thesis? For that, see, you have to scan all the primary and secondary resources available in the library or in the internet world. See, and what are the PhD thesis already submitted by my senior researchers that we have to scan. For that, how to look into it so that there should not be any there should not be any duplication of a research. See, the literature review is very important and very critical in the university or a college system. Okay. See, what is this literature review? See, when we have seen, so many doctoral thesis or even for a scientific article, we are under the impression that literature review means what? Literature review means the article will be there, abstract will be there, paste it, and at the bracket you give proper reference. That's the end of a literature review. It is not like that. It is not an unnoted bibliography, or it is just listing the resources of your related survey. But my dear academic and research community, literature review is a very systematic. See, for example, you are working in the area called women politics. Okay. So what you do, you go to the secondary resources. Maybe earlier it was a sociological abstract. Now we have a plenty of resources you can get from Ganga. You can go to JGate also, JGate portal. Okay, there are secondary sources like Sociophile or Sociological Abstract, or you can go to the databases which are available on the internet. Give it the keyword called women politics. You will come across so many full text articles, so many abstracting articles from the internet, or if you scan printed journals, especially like the social science journals, maybe a Sage publications, you will come across the different articles concerned to women politics. Okay, so there you have to, when you get a one printed or a soft copy of a full text article, you have to go through the article from A to Z. Then you make a review what actually the author tried to indicate. See, we don't read a full text article based upon the abstract only. We think it is a review. That is, in a true sense, it is incorrect, but things are happening. But it's only a sincere request, because as the researcher, when you join for a PhD, he is having a sufficient time. Okay, so when he has to go through the each article, whatever he's having, then he just write there what are all the what type of a research topic he has selected, what is the methodology, what is the objective, what is the conclusion, what is the inference, that he has to write on the paper and make a note of it, and that is going to be his review of one article. But unfortunately, today we are not doing. See, it doesn't mean that all are not doing. Majority of us, especially in this Kalyana Karnataka region, we are doing a better research. There is no doubt about that. But still we expect more. Okay. So, instead of just copying the abstract, go through the article in depth, and you can make a better review of each and every article. Not only a review means not only concerned to a article, even a book, even a book means you cannot just go through the contents and write a review of a book. You have to go through all the pages, then you can write a beautiful review. Okay, and just what should be the plan when you're making a literature review in the scientific world. So these are all the steps which you are all well aware, right? I wanted to show you one abstract, one literature review as a format, as a base, as a model for the younger generation to emulate. See, there is one journal article. Okay, so how to make a review means how to write an abstract, or also means first when you read the entire article, try to understand what is the purpose of the article being written. Okay, nothing but an objective. Then second part, just to make a point, so what is the research methodology, what is the approach of the article which is being published. Then you note down what are all the important findings of the article. Then you come out with research implications or research limitations. Then the practical implications of the article being written. Then you have to make an inference, the originality, the novelty of the article. If you make a review under these headings, definitely the article which you are reading for a literature review become pakka, it become 100%. See, for that we need to have a patience. आज के जमाने में है किनको patience है? We don't have a patience. See, that is the problem today. We wanted everything to be fast. See, for a researcher, if he reads minimum of 50 full text articles concerned to his or her topic of interest or a selected topic, then you see plenty. 3 years is a full time, 4 years is a part time. Yeah, if you take even only 1 page per day also, you can do wonders. But that sort of a patience, that sort of a patience is lacking. That is the reason that we're talking about quality of research. For that, this literature review is a very important. We have to focus more on literature review in the scientific world of publishing. Of course, there are plenty of electronic resources and are available, which I told you. It might be a JSTOR, Sage Publications, Printerlink, Teller and Francis. There are plenty are there, which are all well aware. These are all the electronic resources which are available. And you see, there are some commercial databases are also available, wherein normally the students and scholars ask for a statistical data. For that, India Stat is one of the beautiful statistical database which provides you all the statistical information pertaining to social, economical, political, cultural, and all type of data. And so also there is another database from EPW. It's the EPW, Electronic Political Weekly. There is a database which also provides you all the statistical information from Indian perspective. See, there are plenty are there. So which we can make use of. Okay, and in addition to that, see, today our challenge is how to publish an article, and if at all I wanted to publish an article, where to publish the article, and what is the impact factor, what is the H index, and whether I need to create some sort of a research ID, maybe a ORCID ID or a Scopus ID. Okay. So and what are the different sources wherein I get information, and how to get myself visible, how to get myself having a more impact of my article which are being published by me. Okay, that's the impact factor. And more important is how to get my research work free from plagiarism. Okay, so these are all the challenges for the faculty or the research scholar that we are seeing. See, if at all you are interested to publish one research article, Okay, so kindly make a note that at least these are all the minimum things which are desirable. See, it's not compulsory, but for a scientific research article, if at all you want to publish in a UGC approved journal, or you want to publish an article in the Scopus Index journal, or in the Web of Science journals, then minimum thing is for a research article, especially for a younger generation, not, I see, our teaching faculty are well aware what should be the content. I am talking about the people who are more of a younger and who are doing a research. For them, what should be the content of a research article? Okay. So, the research titles. See, you need to have a research title for your research article. For that, you cannot directly jump and give one fancy title. For that, again, you have to go to the literature review to identify what is the current research that is happening in the field of social science, in the field of science. For that, the annual reviews are one of the important sources which you will get from online also. See, from those sources, we will come to know what is the current research that is being carried out in the year 2020. Okay, so when you decided or when you are wanted to identify, kindly make a literature review and come out with a title. Title of the article should be very clear. There should not be any ambiguity. Okay, that should focus on the scope of your work also. From the title, one can understand that, the gentleman is writing an article on this particular topic, focusing on these subtopics. See, the title should indicate in such a way, it should be very clear, very high, full of clarity, and the reader should have impression after seeing your title that, wow, pakka, yaar, perfect, bahut badhiya article hai. See, that sort of a thing. For that, you need to effort. See, you need to make an effort for that. It is not directly giving one title and start writing. Then after that, the second subtopic of your research article should be, after having written your title of the article, you need to have from by whom you are writing, your guide is writing, you put there, you say by your both research scholar or a guide, your name, your designation should come. And normally when we write a designation, when we write like a doctor, normally the name of an author does not, normally the doctor or will not be there. Okay, but of course we are all writing, that's different. So then after that, you have to write the summary of your research article which you are going to publish. Okay, the summary should indicate the one which I said you, the purpose, the objective, the methodology aspect, and the findings and the inferences and suggestion. So, in a very crispy manner, within maybe 250 minutes, with just one para, it should reveal what your article is all about. Okay, the next is followed by keywords. Keywords which are suitable for your title. Okay, then always we start with the introduction. This is not necessary. You can give the different term also for an introduction. Okay, so introduction, then compulsorily you have to make a review of literature, because whenever you are publishing an article, see, the evaluator, means suppose you are publishing in UGC care. So the editor, normally look whether for writing a article, whether he has made a review of literature, whether he has consulted several articles to write his or her research article. So that is one of the point which will be noticed by the editor. Okay, for that you need to have a review of literature in your research article. At least write 7 to 8. You refer 7 to 8 authors who are doing a similar work based upon your title of your article, and quote what actually they say. Okay, then specific objectives of the study. Okay, which is again a very specific, not general. And if at all there are hypotheses, you can have a hypothesis, but not compulsory. If you have, you can have a hypothesis and a sub point. Then the methodology, the research design. Okay, then you have a results and discussion. then you make a conclusion, and more important is references. Okay, this is how you can compile or write a research article having all these facets. Okay, and write the research article. Okay, so see, in the beginning stages, it takes time, and it is essential to take time also. See, once you have a grip, then you can write the article very fast. But see, see, suppose if I am the researcher, it's the first time for me. So if I spend say 15 days, 1 month, then we feel that still article. My guide is he's checking, he or she is checking my article. He's saying it is not up to the mark. Then we feel fed up. It is not like that. Unless and until your article is pakka, unless and until your article is very, very qualitative, you have to revise once, twice, thrice, or 4 times. You have to do that, so that polishing, after polishing only will come out with a beautiful research article. So for that, for younger generation, you need to have a patience. You have to spend more time for a research. See, unfortunately, what is happening, we have a full-time PhD of a 4 year or 5 year. See, 3 years we don't work, and 4th year we go and ask the guide, sir, somehow, I have not done the work, or I have done a little bit work. Within 1 year we will finish my PhD, sir, please help me. See, under this, what happens sometimes, even the guide also under the obligation, he has not done it, somehow it has to be done. See, because of this only, probably the quality of research is coming down, of course. Okay. Anyhow, see, so I was talking about all the facets, all the components of a research article. So I have tried to give how the research title should be. Okay, and what should be the statement of the problem, or it may be for that you need to consult definitely various types of resources available, right? Then collection of review of literature should be the important aspect. Then you have to come out to the specific research problem of your research. That's more important, right? And you have to, there should be scope and limitations of the study, whether you are confining your research study, because this can be applied even for your PhD thesis also, not only for research article. Okay, the scope and limitations of the study. So whether you are covering only Karnataka region, whether you are covering only Karnataka or North Karnataka or India as a whole, that should be scope. Not only geographical area, your scope should also be with respect to the population population. Like, see, for you are covering only teaching faculty. So even if you are covering teaching faculty, whether it is only social science or whether it is science, whether it is humanities, see, you need to specify the scope of the study with respect to geographical area, with respect to the population. That's important. Okay, and normally we are not much concentrating on the limitations of the study, but we have to mention the limitations of the study in our research work also. That's also very, very important. See, what is the limitations of my study? I have covered only questionnaire. I have not covered my interview schedule. That would be your limitation. I have covered only the faculty from Karnataka. I have not covered the faculty from other part of Karnataka. That would be your limitations. Kindly mention the limitations of the study in your research article or your PhD thesis. This is going to be one of the important aspects of any quality research work, mentioning the limitations of the study. Okay, your objective, methodology, scope is fine, but at the same time we have to give importance for the limitations of the study. Okay, objectives, everything. See, objective, the research objective. See, it is very easy for me to tell that it should be clear and it should be smart. Okay. But unless and until we practice, unless and until we are seriously involved in it, we cannot frame the research objective. Okay, so the objective should be very clear, concise, and it should be a declarative statement. Means what you intend to do for your research article, what you intended to do for your PhD thesis. Those objectives which should be very, very specific. You start with to investigate, to find, to suggest, okay, to explore. So these sort of statements you need to have. Okay, so it is also said that the objective should be smart. What is this smart? Smart means it should be the very specific, measurable. More important is whatever the objective that you are going to frame for an article or a research project or your PhD thesis, the objective should be measurable. Not that बढ़िया objective आपने बोल दिया वो अचीव नहीं करे तो that will be a waste. Okay, and it is attainable, practical. Okay, that is more important and realistic. It should be more of a realistic something. You wanted to find something which is not possible. It's not an objective which you are capable. You can find, you can do research. That should be realistic and it should be a time bound. That's more important. For each and every research activity, there is a time bound that you have to emphasize. Okay, it is not that because a minimum of a 3 year or a minimum of a 4 year or even for writing an article minimum of a 3 months that you need to focus on the time. Accordingly, you have to do the work. Okay, so ultimately the objective which plays a very important role should be very relevant, feasible, logic, very clear and concise. Okay, so there are different types of objectives are there and you are all well aware about that. Hypothesis is not compulsory. If you want, you can have a hypothesis. And there is a lot of confusion, especially in the social science, that they want compulsory hypothesis only. Or yeah, without hypothesis, I can't do it. It's not like that. It all depends upon the guide and the student. If you want, you can have it. Otherwise, not required. So sometimes, because I have seen some of the theses, they have a hypothesis, they don't test it. Even though they test it, they don't make any sort of a statistical inference. You see, you have a hypothesis. What is the hypothesis? It is an assumption like, for example, there is say we have a hypothesis, maybe a null hypothesis or a alternative hypothesis. Suppose there is an association, there is a null hypothesis. There is no association between the gender of the respondents and the marriage that they perform. See, if there is some two variables are involved and we are formulating a null hypothesis in the beginning of your chapter in the research design, then it is an obligation on your part based upon your data collection and analysis. You have to validate and test whether the hypothesis framed by you is accepted or rejected. For that, you may apply any chi-square test or a t-test or ANOVA. And see, so I have said today, nowadays, everyone wanted to apply t-test or ANOVA or some principal component only. Depending upon the suitability of the data that you have to apply, not that you have to apply t-test ANOVA. If it is required, you do it. You see, the statistical test depends upon the type of data that you are having, whether it is a nominal data or a ordinal data. See, that you have to look and then apply it. So these are all the part of our research are there, and the methodology which I already discussed it. Here it should be very, very specific. Study population sampling is a one aspect. Normally we ask for the as an examiner what should be the sampling. So there are some standards are there because we cannot cover the entire population for my research study. Maybe we have, if at all we are having 1,000 population, means you cannot have 1,000 population. There are sampling studies are there, means what should be the proportion of the sampling that you have to cover. It may be a stratified sampling, it may be a random sampling. So all these things, we have to understand. And ultimately, based upon all our research design, we can come out with this sort of a thing. So, he as a researcher, whether you are publishing an article or a research report or a PhD thesis, all these becomes very, very relevant. And last but not the least is the references and a bibliography. See, there is always a difference or a talk about what is the reference and what is the bibliography. See, bibliography is at the end. Okay, it is the alphabetical list of all the references, maybe a book, maybe a journal, maybe an electronic book, maybe an electronic journal, or internet sources that you have consulted. You make an alphabetical listing of all the resources that you have consulted, either directly or indirectly. that becomes a part of a bibliography. But in the research article, we are not writing a bibliography, but we are writing a references. Means in the research article, when you are publishing an article, whatever the references that you are citing to write for that particular research article, that should come at the end. There will not be any reference which is not consulted or indicated in the research article. Okay, so references are purely the references which you have referred to publish an article, that will come immediately after the article. At the end of the article, at the end of a conclusion, you have to write a reference. Whereas a bibliography, more of a general, you might have consulted indirectly, those also comes at the end of a chapter or a thesis. And for that, there are different types of manuals are available. Okay, it may be American Psychological Association manual or MLA Medical Librarians Association manual. There are different types of reference manuals are there, and this should become an important component for the researcher or the faculty to understand and teach to the students. Okay, so references plays a very important role. If at all there is a improper references or an improper citation, that will lead to the plagiarism. Although you have given a due importance by acknowledging the text which you have taken to write in your research work, but if you don't do proper referencing, that will take it as a plagiarism and it will create a problem for you. So, references has to be done. And today, so many people are talking about a reference management tool like a Mendeley or a EndNote. Okay, but those things, we have to become an integral part of our curriculum. Our curriculum, especially at the master's level, these reference manual should become a part of it. Of course, the universities, they are having the final year, they are trying to include all these sort of things in the syllabus. But more importantly, practical knowledge, practical exposure, practical experience is required at a master level, so that the moment a student, after completion of a master degree, when he approach for a PhD or a MPhil, so probably that become very smooth it becomes smooth for him. Okay, if we understand all the techniques of a research at a master level, or say even in the preliminary, so then it becomes very easy. And as a librarian, I feel that the concept like references, okay, should become a part of our curriculum in the master level, not only for the students of a journalism or a library science. It should become a part of all the syllabus of a master degree, whether it is a science, humanities or a social science. And this plagiarism, the concept of plagiarism, that sort of a practical orientation should also become a part of a syllabus at a master level for all the disciplines. Then only, will be able to improve our research, improve our quality. Okay, fine. Now, all the teaching faculty or the research scholars are also concerned. Sir, I published in my one article in that journal or this journal, how much marks I get for my publication. Okay, so as a faculty, you say that, sir, I published more than 100 articles, but what should be the marks, because I am applying for a new post, for a professor post in the university or other center. So what should be how the marks will be calculated. So all these are things, and more importantly, whenever you are writing any research article or a PhD thesis, so how to make my thesis or an article free from plagiarism. And having decided to publish an article, you have a dilemma as to where to publish, because today there is a fever of only UGC approved journal. Okay, then where to publish? So wherever I publish my article, is it of a high impact journal? We were like, see, these are all the questions, that we try to answer it in a coming slide. Okay, see, I think most of the teaching faculty, they are well aware, but even then, see, these are all the marks which are assigned based upon the discipline of the faculty. Okay, so this is an academic score as per the latest University Grants Commission. If at all you are publishing in a research article in the UGC approved journal, okay, for Faculty of Sciences, Engineering, Agriculture, Medical and Veterinary, you are getting for one article, if you are publishing an article, then you are getting a marks of 8. Whereas in a social science, in other, you are getting a marks of 10 per paper that you write. And you may ask me, sir, we have a 3 authors or a 2 authors. See, first author will get 70%, the second author will get a 30%. See, there is a division. That's why you should be very cautious to put the name. It is not just putting the name of 2-3 persons and writing an article. The first author gets the 70% and 30% will be shared by the co-authors. Okay, and there is also an option, like even though you are a second author, but you are like you are a primary contact person, then you will also get a 70% of the marks. Okay, so here the funny thing, research paper published in peer reviewed or UGC listed journal. So here is a problem. You tell me any journal which is not a UGC approved, but it will say that it is a peer reviewed. Okay, because the option is here peer reviewed or UGC listed journal. Means you can publish in any other journal also. So, and all the journal claims that it's a peer reviewed only. What is peer review? Means before publishing any article in the journal, your article is being evaluated by the subject experts and based upon their feedback only, the editor will publish your article in the journal. Okay. So, means that a peer reviewed means every journal, even tomorrow I can start my own journal and I can say that it is a peer reviewed. So this is the problem with the thing that we can find in the manual of UGC. Okay, means there are ways to avoid also, like see if at all for a book, if at all you are publishing a book. Okay, so it's an international, you get 12 marks, national publisher, you get 10 marks. If you are publishing in a book, in an edited book as a chapter, you will get 5 marks. Okay, if it is international, then you will get 10 marks. Okay, if you are writing if you are an editor of a book for a national, you will get 8 and 10 for an international publisher. Okay, so chapter in a research paper or a research paper, we get 3. So these are all the marks are available, and especially for a teaching faculty, in the NAC process, see, we have to have develop our own e-content or a learning course material. For that, there are different for each, for innovative pedagogy, 5 marks are given. Suppose if you are developing any course material for a MOOCs, you will get 20 marks. For a 4 credit course, if you are developing any model, you will get 20 marks. Okay, if you are developing an e-content, maybe for a complete course or a complete e-book, you will get 12 marks. See, there are different marks are being assigned for academic performance indicator for the teaching faculty or even the researcher who is applying for a new post. You need to know how much marks you get it. Okay, and if you are guiding a student for a PhD degree, you are getting a 10 marks. Okay, or if it is submitted, means you get 5 marks. Or for MPhil, probably MPhil and PG dissertation is ruled out in the current arena. Maybe after 2021, there will not be any MPhil degree as per the new policy. And you get 2 marks for MPhil. And for a research project completed, if it is more than 10 lakh, your marks will be 10. If it is less than 10 lakh, you will be 5. And here question comes, normally for writing any major research project, there are 2 persons will be there, principal investigator and the co-investigator. So if there are 10 marks or for if it is more than 10 lakh, 10 marks are there. So both will get 50%, 50-50, means 5 marks and 5 marks. But whereas in a research article, you will get 70 for a first author and 30% for the second author. That's a different. And our concept about patent, patent you get international, if you have a patent of your any topic, you will get 10 marks and 7 for a national one. And there are policy document, different international level, national, there are some marks are there. More important is the awards and the fellowship that we get. See, like maybe a Commonwealth fellowship, or it may be a fellowship from which you receive from a national bodies. You will get a 5 marks for at a national level and 7 for international. Maybe it's a fellowship or an award. Okay, and we have a normally, we tell that, sir, I have presented my paper in the conferences and they have included only abstract, how much marks I will get. You will not get a single marks. Okay, कुछ भी नहीं मिलेगा आप लोगों को. If at all you are writing, if at all they don't bring a conference volume and they don't publish a full text article. Full text article is very much required, and then only you will get it. So for a national level, 3 marks are there. For an international, which we proclaim, but within the country, at international level it was 5, and purely international it was 7 marks. At a state or university level, it will be 2 marks for all your conference proceedings or an invited lecture or a resource person, especially for the teaching faculty. He may be invited talk. So these are all the marks assigned. See, another factor, here. See, we are all talking about a bit confusing, but clarity is there. But especially for I am being a NAC coordinator of a Gulbarga University. See, or IQC coordinator, or you are all maybe there are so many IQC coordinator and the NAC coordinator, wherein most of the teaching faculty occupy those positions. See, you are, it is again there is one more clause whenever you are here to calculate the marks being assigned for any research publication, especially for a scientific journal. Paper in a referred journal without impact factor, we have to augment. Augment means you have to add 5 points to the existing. If any journal which is having a less than 1 impact factor, you have to add 10 more points. Okay, if the impact factor of a journal is lies somewhere between 1 and 2, you have to add 15 points to the marks which is already being given. See, these are all, different grading and finding the impact factor of a journal. See, it's a bit difficult. See, normally, even say, for example, one beautiful journal, they have a beautiful website. They claim that the impact factor of a journal is 15-10. You are getting a 1 or a 2 or a 3 impact factor for a journal published in elsewhere or a IEEE is so much complicated, very difficult. But there are some journals which proclaim that they have a 10 index, 10 impact factor. Journal with an impact factor 10, 8, 7. How to find it? In a true sense, there is a from the Clarivate, that's the Web of Science, there is a one database which will indicate the exact perfect impact factor of the journal. But unfortunately, even the universities, they don't buy or subscribe that journal JCR. I mean that that database is not being subscribed. For that, normally we go to the website and see whatever the impact factor that is being displayed, the same impact factor we will put it for our academic performance indicator. Okay, so there are some technical issues will be there, but this is all, like a general aspect, especially for the researcher to understand. Okay, so this is a bit confusing. I already told what is the difference between peer review or a refereed journal, because in the UGC they ask for a peer reviewed or this thing, and what are all the research metric databases which we are supposed to understand. See, Scopus, Web of Science, Indian Citation Index, or a Google Scholar. Normally, these are all the metric databases, and these are all plays a very important role, especially during our NAC purpose. See, when we are compiling a list of faculty publication, see, the NAC people demand what is the impact factor of the journal, what is the H index of your college. Okay, all these things can be determined from the Scopus or a Web of Science. Okay, So these are all the things, which requires more of a practical explanation. And we should be worried more for our journal metrics, or author metrics, or article metrics. It is not important that how many articles we publish, but how many articles are being referred by other people and cited by other people for my article. That matters a lot. It is not the quantity of your article that is being published, rather how many people have referred and cited plays a very important role. The new concept is called alt metrics, means even your article, is being referred in the social media, cited by maybe others. Okay, that's the alt metrics, is a new terminology in the research matrix. And more important is, we are all worried about publishing our articles in the UGC approved journal. See, just I wanted to inform, especially the younger research scholars. See, go to the Google, and when you type UGC approved journal, this site, it will not be a UGC site, but it is a site called ugccare.unipune.ac.in. So, University of Pune, say that's a site called from the UGC. UGC CARE means nothing but a consortium for academic and research ethics. That's why UGC CARE. So everyone wanted to publish the articles in the UGC CARE. Here there are two things are there. Before that, whenever you want to access this particular website, you have to register. You cannot directly browse and search whether this journal is and comes under the UGC list or not. You have to have a registration for that. For that, there is an option to register for this particular site. Then after registration, you will get a username and a password. Then you can start using the UGC CARE. Here, there are two things are there. I wanted to know, suppose say as a researcher, I want to publish my article in a journal. Say it may be Economical and Political Weekly. You want to publish in the EPW journal. So whether it is approved by UGC CARE, what you need to do, you have to log in into this particular website and search that journal. There is you have to pull down menu is called, you search the title of the journal and type Economic and Political Weekly and search it. It will indicate whether that particular journal is approved or not. In this way, whenever before publishing any article in the journal, you try to find search the journal whether it is already included in the UGC CARE or not. Then if it is approved or included, then you publish in that journal. Otherwise, no. Because that's a strict rule that we have to follow it. So this is the only a category 1. There are journals which are indexed in Scopus. These journals are indexed in Web of Science. They are called international databases. So even if the journal do not reveal in your UGC CARE list, but if it is indexed in Scopus or Web of Science, that those journals are also considered as approved by the government of India, and you will get all the marks which is desirable for the UGC approved. Okay, and here one more problem as a researcher, as a teaching faculty that we face in the UGC CARE is, see, last year there was a journal which was approved and I published 2 articles. But this year they have removed those journals. Then what I should do? Whether the marks will be counted or not, it will be counted. Please note, see, there are some universities, they may or may not, but there is a legal right that if your article which is published say 2018 and that journal is UGC approved, but today that particular journal may not be a part of UGC CARE, but then also the person who are making evaluation, it's a bound duty to give complete marks, because otherwise what happens, see, if you see the list every year they are going to remove one and adding some few, and the person the student scholars whoever published the article, so they will be missing a lot of marks for because they have been denied. In the sense, Today it is there, tomorrow it may not be there. But when you have published it, was it approved journal? Approved. Then fine. Then you get the marks. That's the thing you have to claim for that. But when you publish an article in the UGC approved, take the printout from the UGC website that it is a UGC Care Journal, serial number, everything you need to have a proof. Okay. So that sort of thing you can claim for your promotion, for a new recruitment, or for whatsoever, right? So this is how, like it looks like. There is an option called selecting a title, publisher, subject. You can, if you wanted to know in my subject, social sciences, how many journals are there where I can publish. So that you will find from the UGC Care, right? So these are all the social science. I looked for social science. I could get 326 journals which are UGC approved by the UGC Care list as per the latest. Means it was some 2-3 days back only I checked it. So 326 journals are UGC approved, and before publishing you check whether those journal are UGC Care or not. Okay. And this is something bit at a higher end. Sometimes we have written an article. I don't know where to publish it because I don't know whether my article title will suit to whether it's suitable for the journal or not. So, but there are some online website portal called a Journal Finder. What you do, your article is ready. You want to publish it now. So, you paste your title of the article in the title, you paste your abstract summary in that abstract column, then give the keyword, then you select your research area, okay, then you enter. It will automatically list you based upon your title of the article and abstract of your article. It will suggest you, okay gentlemen, based upon your title and abstract, you can publish in these highly impact journal. The list of journals will be automatically given by the website. See, the suitability of my publication will be revealed by the publisher based upon your content. See, that is the beauty of there are plenty of resources which will help you where to publish, where not to publish. But only thing is that practice is involved, passion is involved, time is involved. See, we need to have a patience, learn one by one. So this learning is a continuous process. It is not a one-time job. Okay, there are so many other things are there which again it will take one more hour for me. This is only just under Scopus we will get. Suppose any author, when he publish an article, if you wanted to know how many articles he has published, how many citations he has issued, and what is the H index. So maybe you are published 100 articles, but then very few articles will be indexed in Scopus. That will reveal your H index. And as a researcher, as a teaching faculty, as a research scholar, we need to understand the concept of plagiarism, reference tool, H index, impact factors, all these things. See, today plagiarism is one of the hot topic that we have to understand how we can overcome this sort of a plagiarism issue. Plagiarism is not a suitable term. The suitable term is a similarity index. We are not supposed to use, as academician, we are not supposed to use the term called plagiarism. We are supposed to use the term called similarity index. And for this, we are using a different anti-plagiarism software like Turnitin, Woodcount, iAuthenticate, Drillbit. There are plenty of sources are there. And I want to tell you that we all depend purely on plagiarism tool. It is not 100% correct. Because as a practicing personality, I am telling you, it's not, when you put your thesis or article under any say Turnitin plagiarism, it will tell that 30%. 30%, is it 100% correct? No. There are chances that your own articles are maybe a part of that plagiarism. You remove those things and then it will be perfect. Okay. So there are some plagiarism policies there. It's a research policy which UGC have developed and now they have come out with a 10%, and how many universities are still adopting 30%, we do not know, and how many universities have following a 10% of a plagiarism only is still a question. So these are all the administrative matter which have to be taken seriously. Okay. So there are so many other things are there. To conclude here, I wish to tell you that, see, we are living in a very, very competitive world. Of course, as a teacher, as a researcher, we may get a degree, okay? We may be a professor, we may get a degree of a PhD for younger generation. See, everything is fine, but knowledge is nobody's, that property. If you want the knowledge to be gained, the learning, research, teaching, it should be continuous activity. You cannot stop at one stage and say, यार now अभी मेरा नौकरी मिल गया, मैं अभी सब कुछ हो गया, बस है. So that is not a real scientific temper or a professional ethics. We have to develop the research bent of a mind, and we have to develop a scientific temper that really matters a lot, especially for a younger research scholar. See, we cannot be very shortcut. We cannot, spend only 1 year and we expect a lot of things is not advisable. It's a continuous process. We, at least as a researcher, we have to spend a minimum of, because if you're a full-time scholar, so we have a full-time work is there. Means you have to do serious research, Like it's not that, what 2 to 3 years, just sit quiet and then afterwards, in 1 year you wanted to do everything. That's not possible, yeah. We have to be continuous every day, maybe half an hour, 1 hour, continuously we have to have that sort of an researcher attitude. That matters a lot. And more importantly, don't expect any certification or shabashgiri from other people. As a researcher, you are doing your duty because you want PhD, because you want a research article. Do on your own. Don't bother what others say, what gossip other people are making on you. So see, that's all very, very secondary. Confine to you as an individual, concentrate on your research work and come out with the flying colors. That should be the tempo. So with this note, I conclude my lecture, and I thank the authorities for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this show. Thank you very much.